Ray Charles was a true bebopper. I'm not kidding you. If you've seen him play saxophone, you'll hear a lot of blues, of course, and soul, but there's also plenty of jazz and bebop in his language. That's not just my opinion, that's what Ray told himself. We will take a look at what he played in one particular solo that I transcribed, some great lines in there, and also there's a great article in the LA Times from somewhere around 2000 where he mentions himself, how he grew up in his teenage years with bebop, and Quincy Jones alongside him going to jam sessions is a great article to read. I'll link that below and I'll pull that up later. But first, let's look at the solo and what he actually played. Here we go. By the way, look at this guy here from the big band, from the saxophone section, how he nods along with Ray. He's really into it. But he starts right away with a quote, a Popeye quote, that is. And I've heard Bird do that a few times, so I guess that might be a Popeye quote, but coming from Bird. Look at that. Look at this guy. Oh yes, and there's another great line there I want to pull up. If this wants to go down on YouTube, maybe not, but you can read it, I guess. Here, like on this extra dominant, also a typical bebop move. That's really, that A sharp gives it away that this is a secondary dominant to the B minor, which is the 2-5-1. We are in the A blues here. So great move, and then he tops it off with an actual really nice blues lick. I like how he goes like it's blues, A minor, blues, and then he goes to this major third over there, to resolve that, because we are also in major. Yeah. So let's go a bit back. He started with like this great. Yes, and that's like the part where you can hear a little bit like, I mean, he was obviously doing different kind of stuff besides daily practicing the saxophone at some point, and there you can hear him stumble a little bit over his phrasing. That's where I wrote in like intended line. That's when your tongue, the phrasing, the offbeat phrasing, normally you tongue on the offbeat, you tie that to the downbeat, ta ta ha da ha da ha, ta ta ha da ha da ha, and where that doesn't match what your fingers do, and then you get a little bit this stumbling of the line. But that's kind of what's been played there. Yeah, and he plays that like a few times, this. Which is like this typical bebop enclosure towards the third of a chord, the A7. Here we will see that later more. And you heard that stumble a little bit again, like after this great blues lick. But let's back up a bit. See that? There it's again. And then, yes, and that's like classical major bebop scale there. So that's all the notes from the major pentatonic and the flat 3. Or if you want, you think like the relative minor, F sharp minor blues scale. Most people think in minor blues scales. So F sharp minor blues scale, but you start from the A. That's basically the same thing. You can do the A minor blues scale, which he did, but that's already next level. You also incorporate that minor, relative minor blues scale. Oh, there we have it again. Let me, that's the lick again. Double chromatic approach. But now we go to a kind of bridge on the D7. Oh yes, there, and doesn't get more bebop than that line, right? A lot of chromatics in between the third. And there we have it once again. We are anticipating the G7 and he plays. So you have to see it in that context of a G7, I think. And then it's the same lick we saw before on that A and D7. The first in A was. Then we have that same thing in D. Yes, and there we have again once that specific. I actually forgot which Charlie Parker tune that is again, but this is this famous. And there we have again that D sharp is like this beautiful move on the bridge. We are in a D blues, so this anticipates the E minor, which is the 2 of 2-5-1 to D. So this is that again that specific jazz move for a jazz blues to put there that 2-5 towards the 2-5, 3-6 2-5. Actually, this D sharp gives it away. Yes, and there he outlines this. That's that major blues scale again, but then in D. Oh, yes, that's one of my favorite licks in there. It's super bluesy. Let's listen to that once again. Yes, and we go further in a moment, but let me talk about why that works. That's like a grouping of 3 over, it's of course in 4/4 this tune, but he plays groupings of 3 with like a very bluesy phrase. That's one full motive, and then he repeats that same. Then he repeats the first line again, but then an octave lower. And also that last 3 notes is like a grouping of 3 quarter notes this time. C, C, C sharp towards the D. And then it's released the tension on that D. But that's a beautiful cross rhythm move of 3/4. Oh, this is so great. And then to end that line, here it's again once. Again, anticipating on the G7 with that enclosure lick. Let's do this once again. Oh, and he also right before he plays that line, I think his glasses are sliding down. He has like this fast move to put that back, and then he plays the most nasty, beautiful blues lick. It's also the way he plays. This is great, like the phrasing and the sound of it, and just the scooping of the notes. I mean, where he just got a little bit messy with his tonguing at those 2 places before, he compensates for me a lot by just his mere interpretation and soul and blues he adds to this. I mean, it's a little bit more back. Here we go. Look at the glasses. Yeah. Wow, so that's like, I mean, can you get any more bird-like than this? It's the vintage bird trademark. And he actually outlines that on, like, as an arpeggio on the G7. If you move that G, the first G down, it's a full. That's a full extension of a G7 with the 9. That's the A. And then the C sharp, which is the sharp 11 there. And then that chromatic little run and coming down, that glide, almost the chromatic glide of triplets, where the highest note is the E. So this is the full sound of it with that, yeah, with that veneer of that bird lick in there. Yeah. Also that's like a great bird type of line. Secondary 2/5 to that E minor. Yeah. Then he ends with what I've mentioned before, that major blues scale. And then there's the theme. I also notated that. It's a great little blues theme. Oh yeah, listen to that saxophone section sound. I love it. He's like the lead here. Ooh, so, yeah, it's so tasty. Oh yes, such a great sound. What great lines that he plays. Amazing, right? Did you know that Ray Charles, 1, played saxophone, and 2, had like a full bebop background? His first few albums, The Great Ray Charles, that one of the first albums with the big band arranged by Quincy Jones, is such a terrific album. I really hope you'll check that out. It's really jazz at its finest. And Ray doesn't sing, he plays actually no saxophone there, he plays only piano, and he has some great solos. Heavily blues, heavily soul influenced, but also the bebop shines through at moments. It's a beautiful combination of all these styles, and that's what Ray Charles was. And I think the bebop part got hidden mostly under all the great singing. But it's there and it's lovely. Let me know what you think. I hope that you learned a thing or two. Is there a lick that you will take? There's certainly one that I will take. That little blues thing with the in 3. We'll take that one for our Patreon channel. Make that into an exercise and a lesson. If you're interested in that, you can study with us, me and Timothy. Hit me up with some questions if you have them, and I'll see you next time.